Apple's next breakthrough could be announced any day, and it could be the biggest new tech device, not just in Apple history, but in your lifetime. Apple CEO Tim Cook predicts this new technology will change the way we use technology forever, transform the way you work, play, connect, and learn. And we'll look back and wonder how we lived without it. This has nothing to do with Project Titan, Apple's code name for its self-driving car, or any other secret Apple project you may have heard of for that matter. This development could be even bigger. I'm convinced it will be one of those major life-changing tech industry moments. And forward-thinking investors who make the right move before the official announcement is made stand to make substantial gains starting today. But pay close attention, because investing in Apple is not the best way to cash in on this new tech trend. I found a much more exciting opportunity I think you should act on immediately. And that's what I'd like to show you today. You see, when Apple unveils a new product like this, the entire tech industry is impacted. We've seen it time and again. Apple has led every new consumer tech trend of the past 40 years, starting with the Macintosh back in 1984, which kicked off the age of personal computing, the iPod in 2001, launching the $25 billion digital music industry from scratch, the iPhone in 2007, which set off the smartphone revolution, and since then has generated nearly $2 trillion in iPhone sales. The iPad in 2010, which launched tablet computing and generated more than 500 million iPad sales. And then in the last 5 years, it moved into wearable technology with the Apple Watch, which already sells more per year than every other Swiss watchmaker combined. Bottom line, almost no consumer tech device goes mainstream until Apple backs it. And I expect its next, most groundbreaking device yet could hit shelves in the next year. But to be clear, there has been no official announcement about this new device from Apple. At least not yet. To most folks, what I'm about to share with you might feel like a speculation or a rumor. This message is not endorsed by or affiliated with Apple or any of its subsidiaries. And I do not have any secret information about this project. But based on my research, I'm confident the announcement could be coming soon. I'll share all the evidence with you right here. I'll show you how right now Apple has a team of employees working around the clock on this important launch. And if you follow the simple steps I'm about to share with you, you should be able to get started with what I believe is the best stock to own before this device hits the shelves. I've spent the past year following a publicly available trail of clues that Apple has left. I've tracked down dozens of critical patents Apple has applied for and received, all potentially related to this new device and the technology behind it. I've watched as countless job postings have continued flying up on Apple's website in the past year, even amid the pandemic, all related to this new technology. I've taken note as Apple entered countless strategic partnerships that prove it's working to make this new device a reality. I've seen others go through Apple's most recent developer code, which confirms that the company is in fact working on the underlying programming that enables this technology. I've documented all the subtle hints that Apple CEO Tim Cook and other executives have made about this impending announcement. And most importantly, I've been closely tracking the reports of a secretive tech analyst recognized by tech watchers like myself as the man who reveals all of Apple's secrets. More on him in just a moment. All of which is why I believe my prediction is as close to a sure thing as you can get, until Apple officially announces this new device. But by the time that happens, you'll be too late. I predict that by that point, investors will have already piled into the little-known investment opportunity I've uncovered and would like to share details about with you today. And the big money will have disappeared for good. Trust me, there will never be a tech announcement bigger than this, at least not in our lifetime. So if you're interested in the chance to get ahead of Apple's next blockbuster gadget and potentially cashing in on some of the biggest gains in tech in your lifetime, you'll want to act immediately, today if possible. This will be Apple's biggest product launch ever. A venture capitalist who's been called Forbes' top stock picker and the best on the street by the Wall Street Journal says this will be bigger than the iPhone. Others expect the technology behind this new device will jumpstart an entirely new tech niche that will see explosive, nearly 10x growth in the next 3 years alone, and could ultimately become a $7 trillion market from just roughly $31 billion today. And I believe I found the best way to cash in on tech's next big growth story, a way to potentially make triple-digit gains starting today. Let me show you what I've uncovered. My name is Brian Takanko. I'm a senior analyst at Stansberry Research. Over the past 20 years, my firm has grown into one of the largest and most respected financial research companies in the world. Today, we serve nearly 500,000 customers in almost every country. Our research has been featured in Barron's, The Wall Street Journal, USA Today, Bloomberg, MarketWatch, Fox Business News, CNBC, and Forbes. And our readers have included former congressmen, executives at hedge funds, banks, and money managers, as well as some of America's wealthiest families and celebrities. You see, unlike most firms in the financial media, we are independent publishers with a track record of spotting big tech trends months before they play out. For example, 20 years ago, our founder Porter Stansberry told readers about a little-known tech company called JDS Uniphase. Its lasers enabled virtually limitless global bandwidth, which dropped the cost of long-distance telephone calls. Readers who followed his recommendation could have locked in a 592% gain. We recommended Amazon back in 1999, back when it mostly sold books, music, and toys. We wrote about gene sequencing back in 2000. We covered robotic surgery back in 2004, recommending a cutting-edge company called Intuitive Surgical. We even shared the name of a tiny, virtually unknown crypto during the crypto boom of 2017 that was trading for around 50 cents. 3 months later, at its peak, that one was up 3,498%. Stansberry Research has spent the past 20 years tracking down and recruiting the top stock pickers on the planet. Today, we have roughly 200 employees, including 27 MBAs, 15 CPAs, 7 JDs, 7 CFAs, 3 PhDs, even a medical doctor. It's also why once Stansberry Research learned that I've recommended more than 100 different triple-digit winners in my career, they asked me to join their firm. Because I've spent the past 20 years showing folks like you how to make huge gains using tiny stocks the average American has often never heard of, including one stock I recommended that shot up an incredible 3,488%, which turns even just $250 into nearly $9,000. Now, to be clear, these are some of my best calls from my whole career. And while I have an enviable track record, everyone has losses too. To fact check any of my data, please visit our details and disclosure page. But the opportunity I'm reaching out to you about today could have an even bigger impact on the way we live our lives than any of these other big tech stories I've found in my career. This new projected $7 trillion tech trend Apple is about to launch will impact virtually every industry. It will disrupt everything about the way you live your life, from how you buy your groceries and medicine to how you travel and invest. And it will do this in even bigger ways than the iPhone did. And yet almost nobody has this new technology in their radar yet. In other words, if you have the foresight to act on this opportunity today, while it's still at the very earliest stage, I'm convinced you can make fantastic profits in the future, and quite possibly lock in some of the biggest gains you'll ever pocket in your lifetime as this industry grows to maturity. Here's why. If you're a fan of American football, you're no stranger to this yellow line. That first and 10 line has appeared on nearly every televised football game since 1998. But what you might not realize is that this is a basic form of technology known as augmented reality, or AR. And even though the name sounds complex, augmented reality is simply a digital enhancement to the real physical world. When augmented reality is done well, like that first and 10 line, it's not a distraction, but actually improves your normal experience. And so seamlessly that you often forget the digital enhancement doesn't really exist. In fact, when you go to a football stadium today, you'll probably find yourself looking around for that first and 10 line from the stands, only to remember that it only exists on a TV screen. All of this relates to the next big Apple device I believe is about to be announced. Now, to be clear, there's no official announcement from Apple about this, and I do not have any inside information about this project. But based on my research, I am confident the announcement could be coming soon. You see, while you and I have been enjoying apps like Facebook and Zoom over the past year to stay in touch with friends and family, Apple, along with hundreds of other tech companies, have made huge strides in real-world augmented reality uses. In fact, augmented reality technology is already present in many of the newest and most popular smartphones right now, even though you might not realize it. I want you to take a second and pull out your phone. Go ahead, I'll wait. Do you have it ready? Okay, great. Now open your phone's internet browser. If you have an iPhone, it's called Safari, or it may be called Chrome if you have an Android smartphone. Once you've opened the internet, go to google.com and search cheetah. If your phone is fairly new, you'll see search results that include the option, meet a life-size cheetah up close. If you don't see those results, don't worry. Just follow along as I demonstrate for you here on the screen. I want you to click that button next to the image on the middle of your screen that says View in 3D. Once you do, you'll be able to see a real-life cheetah right there in your living room or office. Pretty neat, huh? And what's incredible is there are hundreds of apps just like this that allow you to use augmented reality. For instance, maybe you wear reading glasses and you're due for a new pair. But if you're like me, the thought of driving downtown and trying on dozens of pairs of glasses doesn't sound like a great way to spend a Saturday. No problem. You can download the Warby Parker app and see exactly how a new pair of eyeglasses look on your face without ever leaving your couch. Or maybe you're in the market for a new pair of sneakers. But again, you're short on time and just want to see what they look like with your favorite pair of jeans. Simply download the Wanna Kicks app to see how a new pair of shoes look on your own feet. Or maybe you've been thinking of redecorating your home. In that case, you can download Amazon's app to see how a new chair might look in your living room. Or you can download IKEA's app to see if a bookshelf would look better in the same spot. But as neat as these capabilities are, they're limited by your ability to hold and view the world through your phone screen, which isn't a problem when you're in the living room taking a selfie or looking at couches. But it's more difficult when you're in a new town and aren't sure how to get from your hotel to the local coffee shop. Sure, you can open up Google Maps and switch to live view, which just like the other apps I've shown you, can use augmented reality to show you exactly where you need to turn and when. But if you're not careful, you might trip over something right in front of you, or worse, walk into traffic. That's why I'm so excited about Apple's next big device, because it's going to take these augmented reality capabilities, already part of the latest iPhones, to the next level, giving you a much better, more seamless, more natural way to use and experience these digital enhancements without having to worry about pulling out your phone or finding the right app. And as with most Apple products that have been released, this new development will become an indispensable part of your life, just like you might find it hard to live without your smartphone today. That's why once you understand what's coming, you'll see why Apple CEO Tim Cook says he's confident this new technology will change the way we use technology forever. Let me show you what I mean and why I'm so confident that this device is about to make its public debut. Most Americans have never heard of Mr. Ming-Chi Kuo. He's an analyst at TF International Securities, an investment firm in Hong Kong. But unlike most Wall Street analysts in the US, he's incredibly secretive. He has no real online presence. He never appears on CNBC. He never gives speeches at big tech conferences like the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. In fact, Kuo is so mysterious that only 3 confirmed pictures of him are known to exist online. But typically every few months, he issues a new memo containing such accurate predictions that many in Silicon Valley regard him as the most accurate Apple analyst in the world. How is that possible, you might be wondering? Well, even though Apple's products are designed at Apple Park in Cupertino, California, the products themselves are assembled in China, meaning there's always a period of months, sometimes years, when prototypes are being produced in Asia before the product itself is announced. This is so Apple can be sure the new devices are durable and as robust as it needs them to be. Kuo is like me, based in Asia, and has been able to foster relationships with most of the critical players in Apple's supply chain in China. Because of his legwork, he's amassed a decade-long track record of identifying Apple's next products, often months before the official announcement. For example, in 2010, he predicted Apple would release an 11.6-inch MacBook Air, the smallest and lightest Apple laptop to date. Sure enough, a few months later, Apple announced exactly that. He predicted the Apple Watch would come equipped with an NFC chip and wireless charging capabilities. Again, totally spot on, even though he made this prediction a full year before the watches went on sale. Which brings me to his newest prediction. Right now, Ming-Chi Kuo is predicting Apple's first augmented reality device will be released in 2022. According to Kuo, Apple's forthcoming augmented reality headset will weigh between 3 to 10 ounces, be priced around $1,000, and provide a video see-through AR experience, essentially allowing you to use all those augmented reality functions your iPhone is already capable of. But instead of having to view them through your phone, you'll be able to view it through lenses that still let you look out at the real world. In the coming years, as augmented reality technology improves and more consumers adopt to it, you'll eventually get to the point where you won't even use a headset. In fact, Kuo expects that in the next decade, Apple's augmented reality headset will be replaced by contact lenses. Now, I'll admit it might be hard for you to wrap your head around what all of this will look and feel like, but it's always this way with new technology during the very early adopter phase. For example, when the iPhone first came out in 2007, Steve Ballmer, who was CEO of Microsoft at the time, infamously quipped, "There's no chance that the iPhone is going to get any significant market share." Today, the iPhone owns 55% of the US smartphone market. It's not that Ballmer didn't understand the technology. Far from it. It's just that the iPhone was so new, so different, so disruptive of a technology that even one of the smartest minds in technology at the time couldn't see how drastically it could change the world. Marty Cooper, the inventor of the mobile phone, had a similar blunder. He's on record predicting mobile phones will absolutely never replace the wired telephone. Of course, as you know, since 2004, the exact opposite has been true. Or look at tech writer Clifford Stoll's notorious prediction about the internet in a 1995 edition of Newsweek. No online database will replace your daily newspaper, no CD-ROM can take the place of a competent teacher, and no computer network will change the way government works. Point being, new transformative technologies like augmented reality headsets always seem unbelievable and unlikely to catch on at first, just like we saw with smartphones and the internet. But here's something you can be sure of. The natural progression of technology is for computers to get smaller and more powerful as time goes on. And we're now at the point when microchips are so powerful and so small that the computer itself is capable of disappearing almost entirely. In a few short years, you'll be having immersive, interactive digital experiences using augmented reality, and it will be as seamlessly integrated into your everyday experience as the first and 10 line that most of us take for granted. That's why Apple CEO Tim Cook is so confident about augmented reality technology. This is one of those huge things that we'll look back at and marvel at the start of it. But the time to make your early investment is now, before everyone is rushing to buy Apple's new augmented reality device. You see, with an explosive new technology like this expected to grow at a 50% annual growth rate, there are way more companies than just Apple getting in on this emerging trend. Silicon Valley venture capitalist Gene Munster says, "We are witnessing an arms race of companies rushing to own this space." Earlier this year, Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg called augmented reality the one area he's most excited about for 2021. As he explains, this is going to unlock the types of social experiences I dreamt of building since I was a kid, and it's what we're building towards. True to its promise, Facebook recently announced its own version of augmented reality glasses, just like Apple. They've partnered with Ray-Ban and expect to release it in the next few months. Snap, the company behind mobile app Snapchat, just announced it's releasing its own augmented reality glasses too, called Spectacles. Vodafone Spain released the new Nreal Light augmented reality glasses, which its customers can begin purchasing immediately. And the CEO of Niantic, the company behind Pokemon Go, an augmented reality mobile game that went viral in 2016, recently tweeted a close-up of his company's prototype augmented reality glasses, which they're making in partnership with Qualcomm. These are just a small handful of consumer-facing devices that are in production today. And there are dozens of industrial applications for this technology now emerging too. Like the US Army's $22 billion contract for 120,000 augmented reality-based HoloLenses headsets manufactured by Microsoft, a development that will give frontline soldiers a more informed picture of how to think and react on the battlefield. Siemens has been building augmented reality capabilities into their factories so workers have a clearer picture of what equipment they're working with and can more quickly diagnose errors when something goes wrong. Even Walmart is now using augmented reality to help employees replenish sold-out items, lowering the average store's reshelving time from 2.5 minutes to just 42 seconds. Even bigger benefits come in the healthcare sector. For example, in March, the first ever augmented reality guided surgery was performed in Boston on a patient needing a total hip replacement. And dozens more augmented reality enhanced surgeries are following suit, including for the brain, spine, and heart. Surgeons love it because they now have a much more informed, more accurate picture of what they're operating on, way before they make their first cut, resulting in safer experience for patients. There's even a company called AccuVein, which uses augmented reality to take the guesswork out of a nurse trying to find your vein when you're getting blood drawn. Imagine how much more pleasant that'll be when a nurse has those capabilities built into something like Apple glasses. They'll never miss a vein again. Point being, there are already hundreds of companies working with augmented reality, both at a consumer and industrial level. And potentially thousands more are in development or waiting to be developed, which is why experts predict this new technology could grow into a $7 trillion industry in the next 6 years alone. That's about 5 times the entire smartphone market, which brings me to the next big investment opportunity I've uncovered and I'd like to share with you today. As you've seen, the possibilities for forward-thinking tech investors are massive right now when it comes to augmented reality technology. Kevin Kelly, founding editor of Wired magazine, predicts whoever dominates this platform will become among the wealthiest and most powerful people and companies in history. And even though Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Amazon are all working on their own version of augmented reality technologies and applications, I'm convinced that mainstream acceptance of this new technology will only happen when Apple releases its first augmented reality device. Don't forget, even though other companies were first to market with digital music gadgets first, for example, Microsoft had the Zune, Diamond Multimedia released the Rio. The trend didn't take off until Apple released its iPod. Only then did the digital music explode into the nearly $25 billion industry it is today. Research in Motion released the first BlackBerry in 1999, but the smartphone revolution didn't begin until Apple released its iPhone, which has since generated more than $1.8 trillion in sales. Microsoft was early to release a tablet and smartwatch, but these technologies didn't take off until Apple came out with their version either. Which is why I know augmented reality will only go mainstream when Apple announces its first augmented reality headset. And an announcement could literally come any day now. But Apple is not the stock to buy right now to make money on this new tech trend. It might sound crazy considering I'm 100% convinced Apple will be the undisputed leader driving mainstream adoption of augmented reality. But the biggest gains in Apple have already occurred. For example, investors who had the foresight to buy shares of Apple before it announced the iPhone in January 2007 have enjoyed a 4,000% return, turning every $2,500 into more than $100,000. But right now, Apple has a $2 trillion market cap, meaning even if its stock doubled from here, Apple would be roughly the size of Germany's economy, the fourth largest in the world. Sure, it might happen, and you might see some decent gains by investing in Apple today. But I've found an even better opportunity. So here's what I recommend you do right now instead. I've found a little known way for the chance to make even more money in the weeks leading up to Apple's big announcement. Before this tech gadget is in front page news in the Wall Street Journal and the hot topic on CNBC. And before every investor in America is rushing to find the right augmented reality stock. That's because my number one top way to play Apple's upcoming augmented reality unveiling is a company I can almost guarantee you've never heard of before. It's a small manufacturer less than 1/200th the size of Apple, and it makes a tiny device components that I'm confident will power an augmented reality headset. But even though it's small and under the radar, this isn't some risky penny stock speculation. In fact, this company is already one of Apple's top suppliers. Its microspeakers and mini camera lenses are already part of the iPhone, and almost every other smartphone you can buy for that matter, which is why sales have shot up as much as 411% in the past decade. And yet, because this company flies so far under the radar, almost nobody knows how critical its components are to the smartphone technologies we take for granted and the augmented reality headsets that are about to hit the market, which explains why its stock has only doubled in the past 10 years. And that's one reason I'm predicting investors who get in today, ahead of the official Apple announcement, are about to see triple-digit gains. And that's especially true when you consider one of the company's major breakthroughs. You see, the biggest problem when it comes to using augmented reality headsets is clicking. On a computer, you use a mouse to point and click. On your phone, you have a touch screen. But neither of those really work when you're talking about glasses. And that's what makes this company's new breakthrough so exciting, and why I expect it to be a critical part of Apple's augmented reality device. For instance, imagine you're watching a YouTube video and want to pause the video. On your phone or laptop, you tap the pause button. Simple. Well, when the new Apple augmented reality device comes out, with this company's technology, you will likely just extend your hand and press the pause button you see on your lap or the table in front of you. All you need to do is stretch out your hand And this ultrasound speaker can pick up the movement of your arm and see where and when you're pressing down. Exactly as seamless and user-friendly an experience as you'd expect Apple to build into their newest device. And again, this technology already exists right now. It's already being incorporated into the proprietary components of this company, which is already one of Apple's biggest suppliers. Which is why I think investors who get in on this stock now stand to make way more money than everyone else who will likely just run out and buy Apple. Everything you need to know about this stock, including its name and ticker symbol, is included in my brand new report called The #1 Augmented Reality Component Maker, an under-the-radar stock to potentially make triple-digit gains as Apple's new augmented reality device takes off. Again, I can almost guarantee you've never heard of this company before, but that likely won't be the case for long. It's only a matter of time before Apple's new headsets hit the shelves, and this futuristic technology begins to be adopted by everyone in America. Which is why step #1 is to learn everything you need to know about this little-known tech stock today, and to establish a position in it as soon as possible. This new report is simple and to the point, but it's jam-packed with all the important details and might be the most valuable resource in the world right now for anyone who cares about this new transformative technology and the future of our world. However, learning about this company is just the beginning. There's so much more you need to know about this massive tech trend and the investing opportunity I've found to cash in on this big breakthrough. This is simply the first thing I want to show you when you take a no-risk trial subscription to my new research called Visionary Investor. Normally, to get access to work like this, my firm publishes 12 investment recommendation research reports a year, one per month. It costs $199 per year. Even at that price, with the big trends I'm covering, it's a steal. Keep in mind, over the past 20 years, I've recommended more than 100 triple-digit winners, including 8 stock recommendations that shot up more than 1,000%. But today, you can try my work totally risk-free and at a huge discount to the normal price. Before I give you the specifics, however, there's one more new and critical resource I want to send you to. To really make substantial gains in stocks in the next few years, you need to understand how augmented reality technology is going to disrupt not just consumer technology, but our entire economy. Just like the personal computer digitized our economy in ways nobody could foresee, then the cell phone transformed the way we communicate with each other, allowing us to take a computer wherever we went. So too will augmented reality transform the economy and our world in unexpected ways. That's why I want to send you another very important resource too. It's called Tech's Next Triple-Digit Winners, 3 companies set to dominate the future. And it contains everything you need to know right now to invest in several opportunities in various aspects of augmented reality technology. For example, the critical microchip manufacturer that will power augmented reality. This is one of the most essential companies that supply the inner workings of the $1 trillion consumer electronics industry. It owns more than 3,000 patents and is a critical supplier to all the world's biggest consumer electronics brands, including Samsung, LG, Google, Apple supplier Foxconn, Hewlett-Packard, and Microsoft. Its components are used in everything from LCD displays and touchscreens on tablets to cameras on smartphones, and are already used in some of the earliest augmented reality devices hitting the market right now. I expect this company could see 300% gains as augmented reality takes off, a company set to become the Microsoft of augmented reality. Most people forget this, but Microsoft became the massive tech giant it is today by licensing its operating system to PC makers. In a similar vein, I've found another under-the-radar company that develops the software that makes it possible for you to have an iPhone without a home button. It makes a video game controller vibrate when your kids or grandkid plays their Xbox. This company has more than 3,000 patents issued pending and licenses its technology to all the big players in the tech sector: Apple, Google, Sony, Nintendo, and many others. This stock has as much as doubled in the past 5 years. But I think the even bigger gains are in store and could ultimately become a 10 bagger in the next 5 years. The one company, not Tesla, gearing up to transform the auto industry. There's a massive opportunity emerging right now when it comes to augmented reality and car companies. Today, 1 out of every 4 car accidents in the US is caused by texting and driving. It's more dangerous to drive and text than drive drunk, making it the most dangerous activity to do while driving. And it's no different if you're looking down at your phone to look at directions on Google Maps or Waze, or staring at the GPS screen in your car. Which is why right now, many car companies are also looking at ways to integrate augmented reality into your windshield, giving you the ability to monitor your speed, follow directions, and maybe even get other alerts without ever taking your eyes off the road. I've found a company already working with 8 of the 10 biggest car manufacturers and is a hidden way to cash in on the future of automotive technology. If you get in now, I think you could see 250% plus gains in the coming years. Best of all, you can access all this work totally risk-free and at as much as a 75% discount off the normal rate. You'll get my next 12 monthly investment research reports from Visionary Investor, the #1 augmented reality component maker, an under-the-radar stock to potentially make triple-digit gains as Apple's new augmented reality device takes off, and tech's next triple-digit winners. 3 companies set to dominate the future. It's simple. Apple's big announcement about its next blockbuster gadget could be coming any day now. And just like with every other tech device that came before it, investors who have the foresight to get in on the right stocks today, before everyone else is rushing to get in, stand to make the most money as augmented reality takes off. Now is the time to act. You need to get the facts for yourself and learn the small, simple steps you can take to set yourself up for success as this trend takes off. There's a whole new kind of device, a whole new level of tech trend, and it will be like nothing you've ever seen before. If you think new technology has changed our world in the past few years, just imagine how different it will be when everyone is using augmented reality even more than they use their smartphones today. I'm not exaggerating when I say this new tech trend could be like investing in Microsoft in 1986 and enjoying the 260,000% gain that followed. Amazon in the late 90s before it shot up 210,000%, or even Bitcoin back in 2010 before it soared 500,000 times in value. Now, of course, no one can promise gains like these historical examples, but I believe that gains like these are entirely possible over the long term, with a new projected $7 trillion megatrend like augmented reality. The simple truth is the world has never seen a bigger, more life-changing piece of technology than what Apple is about to unleash. Bloomberg recently reported augmented reality could be the next big thing. Once you understand its implications and all of its potential use cases across every industry, you will start to realize how transformative this will all be. And I'm confident my tech research can do a better job of helping you get started than anything else you can find in the market today. I've been writing and recommending tech stocks for 20 years. And over that time frame, my top 50 closed positions averaged a gain of 584%. And of course, all investments carry risk. Past performance does not indicate future success. And I would never recommend investing any amount you aren't willing to lose. But I found a 1,513% winner on a little-known tech stock back in 2008. That could have turned every $1,500 into more than $24,000. And my all-time best recommendation, which went on to soar 3,488%
turning even just $500 into nearly $18,000. Now, to be clear, these are all some of my best calls from my whole career. And while I have an enviable track record, everyone has losses too. To fact check any of my data, please visit our details and disclosure page. I'm confident my new augmented reality stock picks could do just as well in the coming years. That's why I want to send you my newest reports, the number one augmented reality component maker, and under the radar stock to potentially make triple digit gains as Apple's new augmented reality device takes off. And tech's next triple digit winners, three companies set to dominate the future. There's simply no better deal in the investment research world where you can get this high quality of research at such a bargain basement price. Of course, with all this information at your disposal, you'll have everything you need to know to get started. You'll see why this technology has so much potential, the underlying components that make it possible, and why nearly every company in Silicon Valley is rushing to get their own augmented reality headset in front of customers right now. Keep in mind, we are still at the very earliest stages of this new technology. Experts predict it could become a $7 trillion market from just nearly $31 billion today. The time to get the facts for yourself is now, and I've made it very easy and ridiculously cheap for you to get started. You absolutely must understand this trend if you want the chance to take advantage of the biggest gains in the tech sector in the coming years. Right now, augmented reality still isn't on the radar of most investors. So the stocks I've found are still extremely cheap. But all that will change when Apple announces its first augmented reality headset, which I expect could happen any day now. And if you don't agree with me that this is the absolute best deal in the financial research world, simply let our Maryland based customer service team know in your first 30 days, and they'll refund your full payment. If you care at all about the chance to make life changing gains with the top cutting edge tech stocks capable of delivering you the best gains in the stock market you've ever seen, this new information I've put together for you is critical. Yes, there are risks. Any investment, any new tech trend, and anything you do with your money involves risk. But I think there is great potential here for outsized returns right now. And I have no doubt if you get in early enough, you could make more on this one tech trend than anything else you've invested in before. Maybe even more than my top stock recommendation, which could have made you more than 35 times your money. But you have to get started today, right now, before everyone is trying to figure out how to cash in on Apple's new gadget, and before augmented reality transforms our world in even more disruptive ways than the computer and smartphone did. The only question is, do you have the foresight to get in on a big trend like this at the earliest stage, before it's the next big story on Wall Street? Simply click the button below, which will take you to a secure order form where you can review and complete your purchase. You'll get full access to all my new research reports in a matter of minutes.